If you are visiting SeaWorld Orlando, then you have to ride this coaster. So this is Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, and it's a Premier Rides launch coaster. Now this coaster was originally designed for families, but that did not go over so well, and I would dare to say this is not even a family coaster. That's right, you could not sleep on Icebreaker because it is a shockingly good and intense ride, filled with incredible ejector airtime and a fast-paced layout that does not disappoint. Now, this coaster can get somewhat long lines at times, so should you wait for this coaster and take valuable time out of your day to take a ride on Icebreaker? Well, we are going to find out that and a whole lot more in this review. Let's dive in. Icebreaker stands 93 feet tall, features 1,900 feet of track, reaches a top speed of 52 miles per hour. Now, it is definitely not the biggest coaster out there, and it's one of the smallest at SeaWorld Orlando. But don't let the size fool you. This coaster packs a real punch. It's fast-paced, intense, and it looks so nice, and I love the color scheme. Now, I have two problems with this coaster. A, the trains are not very good. Now, they did remove the comfort collars that were a major problem, made the ride super uncomfortable, but the trains are still super tight when you try to get into them. There's like zero leg room, and the restraint comes really far down, and these are not very good trains in my opinion. Now, you do feel very secure, but they're super tight and they're just not very comfortable, and getting in and out of them are an absolute pain. Now, my second problem is the length. This coaster is very intense, features a lot of airtime like I said before, but it's really short. And there is just not a whole lot to this layout. Now, I still really like Icebreaker, so really good layout. It just needed to be a little longer in my opinion. And it would have been cool to see maybe like a final inversion or something that really would have just added a little more, just a little bit of length, made the ride a little more exciting. But I do know this coaster was supposed to be a family coaster, so they probably did not want to include an inversion. Now, this coaster has a really interesting story regarding the height requirement. Icebreaker was originally supposed to open with a 48-inch height requirement, but that was changed to 54 inches the day after it opened. But just recently, when it took the comfort collars off of these trains, which did help a lot, it went back down to 48 inches, which is quite bizarre. I don't know, it's just kind of weird, and I guess the point of the story is if you're 48 inches, you can ride Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, which is great for everyone. So, now we've gone through all the stats, the extra stuff about Icebreaker, let's run through the layout. After leaving the station and sliding over on your transfer track to the main circuit, you immediately launch backwards and are greeted with some very light flare airtime as you kind of go up the spike. You head back down, gain more speed, and encounter an insane moment of ejector airtime, especially in the front row. You then glide back, and then you get another insane moment of ejector airtime. It is even better in the front row. You are then met with some wild backwards ejector airtime. Now, this is some insane airtime. Like, it is a super unique experience. You are absolutely thrown out of your seat, and it is absolutely amazing. You head over the airtime hill forwards again, providing good airtime in the back, and then head over another great ejector airtime hill. Again, really good airtime to the entire train, and it gets you ready to head over your top hat. You then crest over your 93-foot tall top hat and head down an okay drop. You are then greeted by two back-to-back ejector airtime hills, giving great airtime to the entire train, before heading into your, overbanked turnaround. Now, it's alright, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't really deliver great positives or any airtime whatsoever. You then head into another okay overbank, delivering some light floater airtime, before heading into another bank turn, and then hitting one more ejector airtime hill before gliding into the brakes with a little pop of airtime at the end. All in all, Icebreaker's layout is pretty strong. Now, it definitely has some weaker moments, but those ejector airtime hills really make up for it. And those ejector airtime hills are no joke. Now, is it like RMC level airtime? No, not really, but it delivers some very strong moments of airtime. And I'm actually super impressed with what Premier Rides was able to do with this layout. And they packed in so much for only 1,900 feet of track, which is not very long for a roller coaster whatsoever. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is capacity, because it's not great on this attraction. Lines are frequently pretty long, and the dispatches are quite slow. And as I said, getting in and out of the train is super cumbersome, and that just slows down operations and makes the line that much longer. Now, if you don't go on a super busy day, you won't be waiting more than like 30 minutes, but if you're going on like a busy Saturday, this wait could get really bad. But I would say if it's under an hour and you're willing to wait for it, it is a super good coaster that I highly recommend riding when you visit SeaWorld Orlando. Trust me, you do not want to miss out. So is this a family coaster? I would say yes and no. It's either a very intense family coaster or a pretty mild thrill coaster, but still a good coaster nonetheless. But I would maybe not recommend it for younger kids who are maybe not big fans of roller coasters, because it's still a really intense ride and a legit roller coaster. That's a wrap of a review of Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. It's a good coaster with good pacing, airtime, but its operations are a little slow at times, and there are a few dud spots in the layout. But it's still a great coaster nonetheless, and I highly recommend you coming out and riding it at SeaWorld Orlando. And for my grade, I would give this coaster a B, because of the strong airtime that this coaster delivers, but it's held slightly back by capacity and a few dead spots on the ride. And if you want to know what it feels like to ride Kraken, then check out the video on your screen right now. It's another good review telling you what it's like to ride Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. Make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe for more. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.